Well, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, could I thank everybody who's attended today. It's been a wonderful turnout, and it is really important when you hold these events that you all come. You know, I mean, it makes it such a wonderful day. So thank you everybody who's attended today. I'd like to thank all the presenters. And someone said how inspirational the presentations were, and they were, you know, I mean, I had a lump in my throat sat there. It was really, really very heart-wrenching when you listen to people telling the stories, you know. But that's what the trust is all about, you know, and it's about giving people a chance to get themselves well again and do something with their lives. And it is really, really inspirational to hear some of the stories that we've heard today. So thank you so much for that. It means an awful lot to everybody who works for the organisation. I'd like to thank everybody who's involved with the involvement scheme. Without you, it would make the running of the trust so difficult. It really is so important, the work that you do. It has been said this afternoon, you know, on various presentations about exactly what you do, but it brings home to people when a service user sits on a panel, you know, and you were talking about interviewing. You know, it is so important. I've sat on so many interview panels, and when the service user asks a question, and I know Roman talks about interviewing the chief executive, you know, when the service user asks a question, it's usually the best question of the afternoon. When they ask a consultant, you know, about recovery, what do you know about recovery? And they ask young consultants that, and it's amazing how many of them struggle with questions that are given by the service users. But those questions are so important, and it brings home to people how important working with the service users is, and that's what the trust is all about. You know, it really brings it home to people. I think one of the best questions I ever heard at an interview panel was when we were interviewing a finance director, and the service user said, "What are you going to do as part of your job to make my life better?" You know, to ask a finance director that question is a really difficult one. And he thought for a few minutes, asked for a few minutes to think about it, and then came back with a really good answer about using the resources of the trust in a way that the service users got the best use of that money. And I thought it was a really good answer on the day, and he actually got the job. But it was a great question to ask, and it was a question that, I have to say, I wouldn't have thought of asking. But that's really all about service user involvement. It's fantastic. I want to thank somebody special today. A lot's been talked about certain people, but there is a lady who works behind the scenes at the trust, and that's Sue. Sue is Dave's secretary. Sue does all the running around and keeps Dave going with sandwiches and God knows what, but she does a fantastic job, and she's one of the unsung heroes of the trust. And Sue is retiring today, or in the next few days. So I'd like Sue to come up here. I've got a little gift for her. Thanks, Sue. Thank you so much. Go away.
Stay with the seat.
Sue, Man United won 3-0.
I know. You sit yourself down, Sue. Now there's two other ladies we would like to thank, and that's Bernie and Catherine for organising today. Right, would you both like to come up here?
Smile.
And now I'd just like to move on to the person on my left over here.
You, Dave.
I don't need any prompts to talk about Dave. I've known Dave since I started at the Trust, and the help he's been to me, and I know everybody else at the Trust, it's immeasurable. I've gone to Dave on loads of occasions with different problems, things have come up, and Dave always seems to have the answer, or he knows someone who does have the answer. He's been a tremendous help for me, and such a great inspiration. And I know you won't mind me talking about this, but anybody who can overcome the disabilities that Dave suffered through his accidents and create a life for himself the way he has done is remarkable. It really is remarkable what he's done. And the recognition that he's got, not only in the Trust but throughout the country. You know, there's not many people that don't know about Dave. He's an amazing person, and as I say, not only with things from the Trust. You know, I'm the chairman of Mind locally, and quite often we've had problems, you know, with voluntary sector and things like that. And having Dave there, who's been involved with Warrington Disability Partnership for so long, has been such a tremendous help, you know, in getting advice and whatever. And Dave's always there to come and talk at occasions and various things, but an amazing character. I don't think I'll ever forget the first time he said to me, do you want a lift? And I got in the car, and I'm not usually phased, but yeah, you just got hold of the joystick and we started going, and the wheels started moving by itself. It was the most unnerving experience I think I've ever had in my life. Absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. When I went to Canada, I was telling some people about this, and I could see they didn't believe me. You know, and I said, yeah, I said, he drives a car with a joystick. Oh no, I'm not having that. Anyway, I had some pictures of his car on my iPad and showed them, and literally they couldn't believe it. You know, they'd never seen anything like that. But amazing. But it says so much about the person. It says so much about Dave, about the way he carries on with his life and has built such an amazing life for himself. A fantastic character, a great friend, and someone I'm going to miss tremendously. But I know he'll always be there if ever I want any advice of him or whatever. Fantastic, Dave. And I'd like to thank you on behalf of the Trust for everything you've done for the service users, for the staff. It wasn't easy at first, as you know, and we had some real difficulties to overcome. But with your help and the team, and all you people here, you know, we've changed the whole culture of the way people look at people who've had mental health problems. You know, it is totally different to the way it was a few years ago. You know, and people now are treated with respect and dignity, and that is about your involvement. It's so important, it really is. So please, please don't ever forget that, because that's the biggest testimony you can give to Dave, because Dave has been such a massive part of this, and I want to thank you on behalf of the Trust, Dave. And we've got a couple of little presents for you here. First of all, we took a picture earlier on today with everybody on. Dennis and Dave.
Oh, DJHUBCAP,
to Tesco to get that printed, and
Thank you.
Come on, Dennis, no hiding away.
So what's around the back? Let me stand up at the back. Nice big smile. One. Lovely. Thank you very much. Look up here we are.
It would be remiss of me not to say thank you. 22 years ago, I think it was Andy Sylvester at the time, came to see me at the Warrington Information Group for the Disabled, as we were called at the time, and said, Dave, could you give us some advice on improving access and facilities for disabled people into our clinics and surgeries in Warrington? And it was a gift, because really, I was a member of a day centre at the time, the Dalham Day Centre, and I had some wonderful hours passed there, wickerwork, flower arranging and basket weaving. So if you ever want any sort of darning of socks doing, I could still darn with one hand, don't worry. But no, seriously, it was quite a challenge really, because actually at the time, I was asked to go and sit down in front of a team of managers and to tell them how poor their facilities were. And some people didn't like to hear that, some people actually didn't hear that, they just switched off completely. But the ones who did made it happen. And the ones who did make it happen were the ones who actually sort of improved the facilities for other people. And during that time, I don't think a lot of people know, I was visiting Europe. I wrote a paper that ended up in Europe, and information that keeps me independent living. Not quite sure what's going on there, Pete. But I used to come back from trips across Europe because they invited me to go to different countries. And when I came back to one of them, it was Ian Hepworth, who was the chief exec at the time, said, Dave, who is it you work for? And I said, I don't work for anybody. And he said, well, is that through choice? He said, you got a big claim? I said, no. I said, well, who's going to employ me? I can't get out of bed myself, can't go to the toilet myself, can't drive. Who's going to give me a job? And he said, well, we would. And it was a bit of a yous use moment. And I said, well, go on, then give us a job. And they did. And it was a one-year job, and that was 20 years ago. So, maybe I sort of stuck around a bit too long, I'm not quite sure. But, no, seriously, I mean, what's made it really worthwhile is you. Giving you, so I'm going to do this. No, it's you. It's actually listening to the team from League. You were just, I could have cried sat there, mate.
I've got some tissues, you know.
No, fine. Okay. But it's been a great team, and I'm going to miss you all. But Dennis printed something off on the computer yesterday, and it said, it's at St Paul's Cathedral, it says about Christopher Wren, if you seek his monument, look around you. And what that means is, look around and you can see sort of St Paul's Cathedral. Well, if you want my monument, it's you. So, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today. The last thing really for me is to wish you a safe journey home. Take back whatever you want. There's some spare donuts and muffins or whatever. Some of you brought a shopping bag for your tea. Clear the food out of the room. And thank you very much, everybody, for your involvement today. Have a safe journey. Yeah? And thank you to you, Pete, at the back for the AV. You've done a great job for us. Thank you.